Good morning, everyone. This is Jarvis Escott with What's Happening in Birmingham. Today I have the honor and pleasure of being with Ms. Deven Tellis with EPI Real Estate. Good morning, Ms. Tellis.
Good morning.
Good. Ms. Tellis has come by here today. We're going to have a great conversation about buying a home in 2018.
That's correct.
So the first question I have to ask you is, what's the first question people ask you about buying a home these days?
When buying a home, people want to know how much home they can afford. And that is a good question to ask. And it really shouldn't boil down to the overall selling price of the home. What the people need to consider is, what is their monthly payment going to be? Because that's what you're going to have to factor into. Okay, I make this much money a month. How much of my income do I want to spend, or am I comfortable with spending on my home?
Okay. I guess the next question is, walk us through the process.
Okay, so the home buying process is a rather involved process, and if you really don't know where to get started, it's important for you to have a realtor who can have your best interests at heart and sort of walk you through that process, because a lot of people get out there and they make some major mistakes that kind of set them back in the home buying process. So what I'm going to do is just kind of give you off the cuff a couple of major steps in that process. First of all, you have to find the right home for you. So I'm sure everybody knows, okay, I want a 3-bedroom, 4-bath, I want this particular neighborhood, this particular school system. All of those things are a factor in what's the right home for you. Yard upkeep, again, that monthly payment in that price range. Secondly, you want to start considering saving for a down payment. Most people are going to have to pay some sort of down payment, not necessarily a large one, but you want to make sure that you have some savings in place to cover that should you have to pay a down payment when you close on a home. Thirdly, you want to consider calculating how much home you can afford. And that kind of ties into getting a pre-approved for a home loan. And when I say pre-approved, it's when you visit a lender, a bank, credit union to find out how much money are they comfortable loaning you. You know, based on your financial situation, how much money can you get a loan for, and that will then determine, you know, how much you can spend on a home. And then lastly, once you've done the pre-approval process, then you want to compare mortgage lenders, because it's a service. Some people are going to offer better rates than others. So you're going to have to do your homework on that to make sure you're getting yourself the best deal possible.
Okay. Now that you talked about, you know, the down payment, what's the average credit score you're seeing these days?
Most people's credit scores fall between 600 and 750, and that's pretty good. According to the credit bureaus, just for common knowledge, if your credit score is below a 640, they kind of rate that as bad. Anything between 640 and 680 is going to be fair. 680 to 720 is going to be a good credit score, and of course 800 or above is considered to be excellent credit. So pretty much if you have a good or great credit score, you have to have less documentation to prove that you will be able to uphold your end of the loan or whatever you're trying to get from your lender.
Okay. What are some things that would disqualify or not get a person approved from getting a loan for home?
The most common thing people do in the home buying process is, after you've submitted your offer, you've made a contract, you've spoken with lenders, and you've gotten your funds secured, is that they go out and buy a big purchase for their home that they're moving in. And I guess what people fail to realize is that all of that is being tracked by the credit bureau. So that's going to ding on your credit report. A car, furniture for a room in the house that you don't have furniture for already. All of that, and you're doing that in the midst of this process, is going to trip you up, or it's going to cause the lender to renege on what they said that you can borrow. So a good rule of thumb is, don't make any major purchases, close any credit cards, anything that's going to flag on your credit report during this process. You either get it done before you start this home buying process, or you finish it up after everything is said and done.
Okay. Next question, of course, is how long does it take to close?
Closings vary. I've heard of closings taking as little time as 10 days, and I've heard them take as long as up to 45 to 50 days. And closings depend on a lot of things because there are lots of parties involved, and you have to have lots of documentation and lots of signatures and things to sign off on. Closings also depend on the type of loan that the buyer is using for the home. And I didn't mention earlier that there are loans such as FHA, there are VA loans that cover veterans, Sallie Mae, Freddie Mac, USDA loans if you're buying on a rural area like a farmhouse or something like that. All of those types of loans require different percentages of a down payment. Some as little as 3.5% or none if it's a VA loan, and some require up to 20%. So with that being said, the lenders and the loan process can drag out the closing process. So however long it takes for them to get with the buyer and secure those funds and make sure that the buyer can uphold their end of the deal, that plays into the closing process. Then you also have things like home inspections, property appraisals, getting homeowners insurance. All of that stuff has to be completed between the submittal of the contract and the closing date. All of that has to be packaged up in a nice bow in order for everything to get taken care of. And then also you have contingencies. Does the buyer have another home that needs to be sold in order to move to the next home? Mm-hmm. Does the seller have to find somewhere to move before they can relinquish their home? So all of those things play into the closing process.
Okay, well, let's back up a little bit. How many homes should a person see before deciding?
It really depends on the person. And we're in a digital society, so it's not like back in the day where you actually had to go on foot to every single home that was printed in the little leaflets that you would see outside of the stores and little magazine racks. A lot of buyers, I'm finding, are doing their research online. You have Zillow and Realtor.com and all those places that have virtual tours and pictures. So it really is a personal preference. And people are busy, so I would say only go see the ones that you're really interested in. And then the other ones you can just kind of compare specs. And then also, some homes do look better in person than they do on picture. So if you have a little bit of an inkling about one, it might be worth going to see. But usually people see no more between 5 and 10 homes, I think, before they make their decision these days. Because they're already so informed.
Okay. So next question. What trends are you seeing in the housing market right now?
This is definitely a seller's market right now. There's probably about 4,000 homes that are on the market right now. Tons of real estate agents out there. Not so many buyers trying to get to those homes. It just depends on the price range. Inventory is low, so homes that are in desirable places in the city area are not going to stay on the market for long. So you have to make your decisions quickly. If there's something you like and you can negotiate a great price, snatch it up because it won't be there for long.
Okay. My next question is, what are the benefits these days of buying versus renting in your opinion?
That's like the age-old debate people are having, and it really depends on the person, I think. Overall, the mindset is that renting is cheaper than buying, but that is starting to change slowly depending on which area of the country that you live in, because you have some places with condos, townhouses, apartments that have mortgage type rent, if you will, and it really depends on that person's lifestyle. Something to consider though, with regard to buying versus renting. So if you buy, you have some added responsibility because you are taking care of a property that you own, but you do also have to look forward to the appreciation of that property, the tax benefits that you're going to get from that, the equity that you can pull out once you have paid your mortgage consistently over a period of time. And you also have to look forward to the set rates that you're going to that you're going to have to pay this much every month for your home. So people that buy tend to lean towards that line of thinking. Whereas on the other side, with renting, you don't have to do the property taxes, homeowners insurance. You don't have to worry about maintenance in most cases because you have a landlord or an organization that manages the building you're living in. But on the flip side, you don't really have any valuable asset. There's no return on that because you're not owning what you're living in. But if that fits your lifestyle, and say you move around a lot or you might want to change jobs, then you don't have anything tying you down. You don't have to wait to sell your home. You don't have to wait to find a buyer for you to pick up and move. So there's arguments to both sides, so I think it just really depends on the person.
Okay. Last question, which is an easy question, is they want to get in contact with you, and for more information, how can they reach you?
Okay, well, again, I am Deven Tellis, and I am an agent with the Lou Hill team at EPI Real Estate. We're located on Hoover Court in Hoover, Alabama, off of Highway 31. My cell phone number is 205-531-1507. The office number is 434-1687. And you could also email me at agentdmtellis@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Tellis, taking time out your day. And for more information, please check out our website, what'shappeningbirmingham.com. Thank you all again. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Jarvis. Bye.